and welcome to Pixel's Mom's channel. Happy Halloween to you all. Today's recipe is going to be Calzone Mummies. The ingredients are as follows. You will need 28 ounces of peeled tomatoes, 9 cloves of garlic, peeled and crushed, 2 tablespoons of merlot wine, which I have chose to substitute with chicken broth, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 8 kalamata olives sliced, 1½ cups of cooked chickpeas, 2 roasted red peppers, which I took the liberty of roasting in the oven for about 10 minutes on approximately 400 degrees. You will also need 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, ½ teaspoon of salt and pepper, and ½ teaspoon of sugar. To make the actual mummies, you will need frozen pizza dough, thawed, mozzarella cheese, and Parmesan cheese. And don't forget the 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter to put on top of the crust before it bakes. Alright, to start our sauce, which we are going to be baking in the oven on a temperature of 400 degrees for approximately 25 to 30 minutes, or until you can actually run your spoon through the sauce and have a thin line stay formed. We are going to add our tomatoes into our pan. We're going to be baking the sauce in the oven and letting it roast all together. Okay, so we have our sauce added into our pan, nicely stirred. We're going to be adding our cloves of garlic, we'll add our butter. I have taken the liberty of cutting it up into smaller chunks so that we can spread it easier. Our kalamata olives, the cooked chickpeas, our red peppers, our oregano, our salt and pepper, and our sugar. And don't forget to put the chicken broth, which is substituting for the merlot wine. And then you're going to proceed to stir that all together to combine it as one. Now that all of our ingredients have been incorporated into the baking pan, we're going to be putting it into the oven at 400 degrees for an additional 25 to 35 minutes, or until you can make a line and have it stay separated. Okay, well, now that our sauce is finally completed, all toasted in the oven and ready to go, I have transferred it to a bowl to make it easier to spin everything out. And I also separated our dough into 4 even balls, put a little bit of oil on them to keep them moist, and covered them with plastic wrap to make sure that they do not dry out. You're going to take one of your balls out of the thing on a floured surface. You're going to roll it out to about an 8-inch round circle. Okay, now that we have our dough ball rolled out to a close proximity of an 8-inch diameter, we are going to put some slices to make little strips on each side of our dough. About maybe a ½ inch thick on each width, so that when you can actually wrap the cheese and sauce inside the mummy, which will form the mummy. And you're going to go from the bottom all the way up to the very top, and just leave a small amount on the top to make the head itself. Now that we have taken apart our sides and formed our strips that forms our mummy. We're going to take 1/3 cups of our sauce and spoon it down the center generously to make a nice mound, which will incorporate the filling. You're going to add a little bit of mozzarella cheese on top of there. And some Parmesan cheese as well, which will constitute what our filling will be. Now that we have our filling inside, we will tuck up our bottom mummy and wrap him over the mummy lid so that it forms the bottom like that. And then we're going to alternate, and we're going to put our other mummy one on top of each other to make it look like we have a mummy wrap of blanket, mummy blanket. As you can see, I'm alternating the strips back and forth to make sure that it looks like, it has mummy wrappings. Okay. And then the final two will be at the top. And then you're going to take the very tip, pull it up over the top to form the head, and then do the same as followed by just putting the two wrappings on the very top to make the head. Okay? And that's what our little mummy is going to look like. Alright, well, now that I have formed my 4 mummies out of our dough and stuffed them with our sauce, mozzarella cheese and Parmesan cheese, and made them look like little mummies, I brushed them lightly with butter, and I'm now going to bake them in the oven at 375 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes or until they are golden brown. Okay, now that our mummies have cooked in the oven for 25 minutes, they have come to a nice golden brown. I did take the liberty of putting one on my plate to taste, and we're going to see how they are. I did add a little bit of extra sauce on the side of my mummy to use for dipping purposes. So let's see how they are. Cut the little bottom off of him right here. Very crispy. Okay, and then we're going to take him and dip him into the sauce just a little bit, and we'll give it a try and see how it is. Very hot. I possibly should have waited just a few minutes until they calmed down a little bit, but it is very, very tasty. I personally think this was a pretty successful video. I might have done a few things differently. I'm not sure I would have made the sauce in the oven. I think I would have made my own sauce that I prefer to use. But that's the beauty of this. You can put anything you'd like in this. You could add pepperoni. You could add any kind of pizza topping and flavorings that you would like inside the mummy. Well, alright folks, I hope you all have a spooky Halloween and a wonderful day, and you all be safe out there. And take care.